Let's take a look at the euro dollar for the upcoming October the 28th session. As you can see on this daily chart, we've come down to this first trend line that we have here on the chart. You can see it's a little bit steeper, a little bit more aggressive than this longer term trend line that we've had since back in the summer of June. And so right now it's holding up on that particular level. Now let's go ahead and take our charts down to a 4-hour level. Again, should call out here that there's a little bit of a MACD divergence. You can see the MACD's been waving lower on the daily chart while price has been raising higher. Now let's go ahead and check out the 4-hour. Again, MACD suggesting to us that the trend is definitely in a bearish mode. We had that fall couple at the beginning of the week. We had a little bit of follow through, not a whole lot of dramatic follow through here yesterday. But what that's going to give us in the price action that we've had so far yesterday is a nice little consolidation pattern. So as we move down to the 1-hour chart, one thing that we do want to notice is we have some bullish divergence. And remember, divergence builds in the opposite direction of a trend. And so that means that the trend, since it's bullish, that means the trend is really down. So as we're going to look at the upcoming euro dollar for the upcoming session, we're going to look at 2 points. You can see that we have this low from the day here. But also, as we started and had this drop off here, you can see this is where the range really began to develop in here. And as I straighten out this little line, drop it pretty straight here, what we're going to do is we're going to look for, it's a very narrow range, we're going to look at this upper range from this level right here. That was the highest pullback we had. And then we're going to grab this here and drop it down to the low. And pretty much, since this is a fairly narrow range in here, and I'm going to measure that so that you can get an exact number, and you can do that by getting the crosshairs and dragging that. It's about a 60 pip range, and that's fairly narrow with the spread. We're going to look for 4 trades. The one buy and one sell is very simple to watch for. Any kind of close above this resistance line here on the 1-hour chart, we're going to look for a buy. Remember, this is a downward trend that we're in right now. We've broken a 4-hour trend line. There is a trend line right under here, and if we're going to take a look here, any close below this level, the support level on a 1-hour chart, we're going to be looking to go short. Likewise, if price holds up on this resistance line up here and breaks some kind of trend line that you can see it's developing right now, if it breaks this, any kind of close on this on a 30-minute, over this trend line on a 30-minute chart, we'd be looking for a sell. Take some profit off at this level right here and leave some to see if it's going to run. Likewise, if price happens to just hug around here and we get some kind of futuristic trend line that maybe is developing slanted down out here in the future and a close above that on the 30-minute chart to the upside. And again, we'd be taking some profit off at this level, letting some run. And this futuristic trend line, price would have to come down here and base. So, that's very futuristic, perhaps the New York session. So those are the 4 trades, 2 buys, 2 sells we're going to be looking for on the euro dollar for the upcoming October the 28th session. Let's take a look at the dollar yen for the upcoming October the 28th session. And on the daily chart, we'll take a little bit closer look at it on a 4-hour chart. You can see that we have these nice trend lines that are beginning to come up. We have a longer term one, and we're going to have a little bit more aggressive shorter term one. And when you get on the daily chart, sometimes it's hard to get those drawn as clearly as we would like them. So what we're going to do is we're going to adjust this just a bit. There we go. There's that longer term one since the beginning of October. And then we've basically had an accelerating trend line since that time period. And really it just comes up through these levels right here. And we're just going to draw that. We're going to notice that it was broken right there. So it's been playing with this right up in this particular level on the daily and the 4-hour chart. It's broken down through that trend line, but established a really nice little consolidation period here. And we're going to go ahead and draw that while we're on the 4-hour chart. We can tighten it up a bit when we get down to the 1-hour chart. But this little range is going to become important to us because, again, it's a range off of a little bit higher time frame. And when we have that range like this, it becomes very clear what we should do as price approaches that on the lower time frames. MACD just telling us that the trend is just continuing to the upside, not a whole lot again, just neutralizing, moving toward the waterline, or the price right in the consolidation period. So let's take that down to a 1 hour chart. And then again, that consolidation period becomes a lot clearer for us. So again, we're going to take a look at this range, and we're going to measure this range just so that we know how big it is. Sometimes the candles can be deceiving. Sometimes it looks like it's a 100 pip range, and it's really only a 25 pip range. It's about 70 pip range on the this little channel that we have here, which is good. So let's just keep in mind for this range, the first set of buy and sell trades, anything that closes on the 1 hour chart above this resistance point here, we're looking for a long. Anything that closes below this level here on this support point, we're going to be looking for a short. Remember, it closes on the hour. You only have to look every hour or so. The MACD has taken on a bit of a bearish tone, and it's just fluttering around in here. Not a lot going on, playing around with the 40 exponential 1 hour moving average. So the other trade that we're going to watch for, price looks like it wants to just kind of hang out in this channel. Price comes down to this lower support level and holds. Maybe we're going to get some kind of trend line break out here in the future, and any kind of close on inside the channel trend line over on a 30-minute chart, we're going to look for a buy. And again, taking some money off the table as we approach the upper side here, leaving a little bit on to see if it runs. And if price happens to come up to these highs up in here and holds, we'll try to find some kind of trend line that might be there in the future. Again, right now we don't have any. But if it's holding up here in the future, up at this level and not progressing forward, any kind of close below that trend line in the future on a 30-minute chart, we'd be looking for a sell. So that's what we're going to be looking for in the dollar yen for the upcoming October the 28th sessions.